Hey everybody, welcome back to Selena's Corner. It's St. Patrick's Day. Woo woo. See, wearing green today. So I'm gonna make a small batch of corned beef and cabbage because I don't need a lot of leftovers. I made a vegetable beef stew soup the other day, and I still have a lot of that left. So I'm just gonna make a small batch of corned beef and cabbage for you today to show you what I grew up with. And I'm gonna make it with canned corned beef. Just because it's a little faster and easier. Like if you just, like I did, come home from work and you want to make this right quick, you can do that long before we had crock pots. So I'm going to show you what I grew up on. You can do the corned beef brisket if you'd like. You could probably put it in your slow cooker and let it cook all day while you're at work. That would work great. Let's get started. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I've had some carrots already cut up for some other recipes that I do that use carrots. So I don't know, this is about a half a cup of carrots. So I cook my carrots and my potatoes first, and I use red potatoes. You can use regular potatoes if that's what you have. Just use whatever you have, okay? I'm gonna throw those in there right quick, and I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna cut my potatoes in quarters. And this knife is more like for bigger jobs, which I'm going to do with the cabbage in a few minutes. So the potatoes and the carrots take longer to cook than the cabbage does, so we're going to do those first. And there's no recipe, so we're just going to wing it. Okay? This is just how I learned from my grandmother, and this is what I taught my children. My kids aren't like me; they don't like corned beef and cabbage. I think Joshua does, but I don't think the other two care for it much. So Joshua might make it. I'm not sure if he does or not. So anyway, I'm just going to cut my potatoes in quarters. I could probably flip those over. Just make sure your potatoes don't have any bad spots on them. If they do, you can just cut those off. It's not a big deal. And we don't want to cook them too long because we don't want them to get soggy. Okay? So we're going to take these and we're going to put these into the pot with the carrots. And we're going to fill the pot about 3/4 full. And I'm going to use the smaller burner because that burner is really too big for this pot I'm using. So fill it about halfway, because once you put the cabbage in there, it's really going to rise up. Now, before we start doing that, let me rinse this off real quick. I'm going to put 3 teaspoons of this beef bouillon. I like the Knorr because I find this over on the Hispanic aisle. It, believe me, is a lot cheaper than the other brand on the regular spice aisle, or over like where the gravy and stuff is. So teaspoons. 1 teaspoon of this powder equals a bouillon cube, and I would do 3 bouillon cubes. But to me, the powder is just a lot faster. It dissolves a lot quicker, and it goes. This big thing lasts me forever. So I'm just going to put 3 of those in there. I'm not going to need that anymore. I'm not going to add salt at the beginning because potatoes will absorb salt. If you have ever accidentally added too much salt to a dish that you're making, and you look on Google and you ask, what can you do to fix that? Because you can put it in, but you can't take it out, so you got to be careful with salt. It tells you to put potato in there to absorb that salt. So that's what you're going to do. So I'm not even going to stir that. So I'm going to put this like on maybe medium-high, so it'll come to a boil pretty quick. In the meantime, we're going to cut up our cabbage. And I'm only going to use about half of this So we want to take off these outer leaves. And you can compost those, or you could throw them out there for the squirrels or the birds. Maybe some little rabbits you might have around. Wash this off. Now I remember when we were kids that my granny would cut the hearts out of the cabbage, which is this part here that goes down the center of the cabbage, kind of holds it all together. And she would feed that to the dogs and the cat. Yes, they would fight over the hearts of the cabbage. Oops, I turned off my flash earlier. Alright, so now we're going to cut this bad boy in half. And when you have something big and thick like this, even with watermelons and big melons and stuff like that, if you'll do half of it and turn it around and do the other half of it, they're a lot easier to cut and you're less likely to harm yourself with a big knife like this. So I just push it down in there, like so. I'm going to turn it around, push it down in there, pull it through like that. Then go all the way to the other side. Like so. Almost all the way through. Alrighty. So see, there's that heart that I was talking about, and that's actually edible. It tastes pretty good. Not this part right here. You maybe cut that off, and then just you can eat the heart. It's got kind of a tangy flavor to it. But you just cut off that end piece. You can compost that or toss it, whichever you prefer. And I'm not going to cut up this half because, like I said, I'm only going to make a half. Let's see which half I like better. I think I'll do this one. There's a little more to that one. And I'll save that. Maybe do some coleslaw or something out of it. Cut this off. So now I am going to cut the heart out. So you can see what it looks like. See? If you like raw veggies, you can eat this raw. But yeah. Dogs and the cat used to fight over this. When Granny would make cabbage anything. So I'm not going to use that, so I'm going to put that over there so it can be compost or fed to the birds or whatever. Got a nice little tangy bite to it. Alright. So take another picture. I better go this way. I'll turn this around so you can see the heart. Alright. Now, I'm going to turn it this way. And I'm just going to cut it several pieces. Be careful. You need these big old knives. Remember, we don't want to make a trip to the ER. Blood freaks me out. You gotta be careful with these knives. We get into the edge there, we're getting into the not so safe zone. So we're going to turn it around. There we go. Alright. I thought I turned this up kind of high. Now I'm going to stir it a little bit. Here they go. Watch pot never boils. I want to speed it up a little bit so we can get it all on this one video. Right. And you can just like do smaller. We're just gonna cut it up in chunks. Bite-sized chunks. Like I said. I got a bowl here. I can put these in. Now, with this canned version of corned beef, you want to be real careful and make sure that you don't add it until like the very, very end, because it'll just fall apart and it'll get mushy on you. So we're gonna cut that up into small pieces, you know, like maybe cubes. And then when this is done, we will just kind of lay it on top and just let it get warm. Let it warm up from the juice, from the cabbage and from the vegetables, the cabbage and the carrots and the taters. Okay. You see how I'm holding the knife like that? I'm guiding the knife, having my finger like that rather than like this. So if you hold the knife like this, you're guiding it versus like this. Okay? Be sure keeping your fingers out of the way. And you can even go in smaller pieces if you wanted to. I mean, like that's just fine because once it gets stirred up a couple times, it's going to be in smaller pieces anyway. Now, a little tip that I have is that instead of having to open up a new package of bacon to give this some extra flavor, alright, so rinse this off right quick. So I'm not going to need the big knife when I go to cut this one. Looks like we got some nice bouillon on over here. That beautiful, it smells good. So, my little tip, instead of having to drag out a frying pan, you can even do it in the bottom of that pot if you wanted to before you started everything. But what I do, I cheat. You'll find that I cheat a lot. Because I would rather save my bacon strips for like making bacon jerky or breakfast or something like that. So these are bacon bits. And I'm just going to take a handful of these bacon bits and I'm going to throw them right in there so we get that little bacon flavor going. When I was growing up, we had to actually fry the bacon, but we don't have to fry the bacon anymore. Now we can just cheat and just buy it already chopped up. Alright, so this is starting to boil now. Smells good. So we're going to let that cook just until the potatoes are almost done. Then we don't want them to get mushy. And then we're going to put the cabbage in there. Meanwhile, I need a fork. I'm going to need a fork. So I can test when the taters are done. Put it there on my spoon rest. Alright. So these are neat. They have a little key. So you can open them up. It's really neat. You can take the paper off first if you want to. I don't. But you can. So The key comes like this, and you take the key off and put it in there, and then you just roll it. Sure, I say that and then it won't work. Sometimes you got to figure out which way it's going to turn. No, just might not be strong enough to turn it. So give me just a second to get something that is. My handy dandy pliers here, so I can turn it to get it started. Okay, so it looks like it's going to turn the other way. Maybe. Maybe not. Hey, we might not be able to get this open yet. I'm going to try. I have kind of small hands, so it's hard for me to turn stuff like this. Oh, uh-oh. I broke it off. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to use a clean opener. Anyway, you're supposed to be able to turn it around, but I can't figure out which way it's supposed to open this time. Some video YouTuber I am, right? So we'll just use a can opener and stuff. Just open this bad boy up. Maybe. This is that Pampered Stuff one. I'm supposed to put the safety edge on it. I don't know if I'll open these squirt pins. We'll find out, I guess, right? We're having a day! I feel like opening it. I don't know if it's opening or not. Alright, so we're starting to boil over here. Smells good since I added that bacon. Let's see what else we got. We have another can of beer in here. Why, yes. Yes, we do. And I opened it on the fat side. So we can get it out. Maybe the Pampered Chef did get it open. It didn't look like it. Maybe it didn't. That Pampered Chef one is supposed to have the little safety edge on it. I don't know if I could open it all the way though. I'm just, okay. We'll get this thing open yet. We'll wait and see. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Maybe not. That's sad. I don't even know how to use a can opener. Alright. We'll keep trying. We'll figure it out one way or another. Every time I try to use that, it looks like the Pampered Stuff opened it. But I can't get it to pop off. So there it goes. Maybe. Maybe I just didn't get all the edges good. Be careful though. We're having a day here, aren't we? Where are my pliers at? You gotta pull it all the way. So this is what not to do. can't figure out which way the key's supposed to turn. And I still haven't figured out which way the key's supposed to turn. Still hasn't turned. I'm going to keep going. I get this booger open yet. We won't get it open yet. Even if we can just get one side to pop up, we'll be able to get it out. So I think this is one of those fail videos that everybody told me to post anyway. See how our potatoes are doing. Getting there. Like I say, there's always more than one way to skin a cat. These are kitchen shears. They'll cut through just about any darn thing. Alright, so this edge is going to be crazy, crazy sharp. So I want to be super, super careful. Once I finally do get it open. Sometime this year we will get this thing open. Absolutely promise you. You have a bowl. You have a bowl. Okay. Rinse this off right quick. Alright. So let's get this bad boy out of here. Oh, it might not come out all in one piece. It's coming. There we go. Alright. Eventually. Got it eventually. Alright. So, you just saw a long demonstration of what not to do. But we did manage to solve our problem. Alright, so move this out of this. Let's see. Put my weapons of war away. My war with the can. Anyway, that key is supposed to turn around the can. The last two times I haven't been able to get it to work. Alright, so our potatoes are just about done. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the cabbage in there. And you don't have to have a lot of water in here, because the cabbage itself has a lot of water. I'm just going to stir this right quick. Get it down into our liquid. So we can start cooking. And the cabbage, it'll cook down. Now you see how it almost filled the pot? Well, it'll cook down. Make sure it's in the middle. Turn it down a little. I need a knife. I need a knife. This is actually my favorite knife. I've had this knife a very, 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 very long time. I will fight you for this knife. So, we're just going to cut this into some small chunks. Like so. You can see how fragile it is. Normally I would use this much for a whole batch, but I'm just going to go ahead. I'll just throw about half of this in there, and then I'll save the other half. Dirtied up that bowl for no reason. So I'll do about half of this when my cabbage is ready. Alrighty. Do that just a few minutes. So I'm going to pause it while the cabbage cooks right quick, because that'll take a couple minutes, probably about 10 minutes. And I don't really have a lot to blab on about for 10 minutes. The Irish soda turned out really good. I got some of the Carrie's Gold Irish butter for our Irish soda bread. About half of it's gone already. Yes! I've been munching on it for breakfast instead of saving it for today. Alright, so I'll go ahead and I'll straighten up the kitchen right quick, and I will be back shortly. Remember, if you like what you see today, even with that fiasco with my can, please remember to like, subscribe, share, comment, be nice, and we'll be right back. Okay, everybody, so we're back. It's been about 10 minutes. I straightened up right quick. So now we're going to add the canned corned beef, and we're just going to lay it on the top of the corned beef and cabbage. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I did take some pictures. Okay, it smells so yummy. I'm just going to put this on top. And actually now, let's add our salt and pepper now. We don't want to stir that up a whole lot after we add it. This is just to your taste. I like black pepper a whole lot. And I think it tastes better when you grind it at the stove. I like the pink Himalayan salt too. Doesn't take a lot of that either because we put that bouillon and bacon in there. And I'm just going to stir that up a little bit. Not a whole lot. Now I'm going to add our corned beef cubes. Just going to lay those on the top so they can warm up. But remember, they'll fall apart if we stir it up too much. I already put half of it away, so put that in the sink so it can be clean and sanitized. We just want that to get warm. And what I'll do is I'll just like scoop it up with a soup ladle into a bowl. I'll take some pictures for you. Let's see. I like these bowls right. I've already turned it off. Get a soup ladle here. I'm just going to scoop some of that right up into my bowl. So you can see how pretty it looks. Got a runaway carrot there. I actually don't need that much juice, so I'm going to pour that back in. Alright. Here's our corned beef and cabbage. Just real quick, fast. Take a picture right quick. Oops. Nah, my camera doesn't want to work. It's not cooperating. take a picture right quick so you see how pretty it is. Alright, so that is all I really have for us today. I just wanted to do a quick video for you. I'm going to get my grandma's plate. My grandma's wedding china. I don't have much of it left. Well, to be honest with you, I didn't get much of it to start with, so I'll get some of my Irish soda bread out here. So, actually, I think I let the potatoes cook a little too long. My bad. Got some little Irish Kerry's Gold spreadable butter here. And this will be my dinner for tonight. I hope that you liked what you saw today. If you do, please like, comment, share. Remember, if you're going to comment, be nice. Subscribe to my channel. And let me know something else that you'd like to see. And I'll be happy to try to make it for you. If I've never made it before, I will find a recipe and I will make it for you. I also got a culinary torch. So you know that I'm going to figure out something that I can make with a culinary torch. I've never had creme brulee. I can't even talk. Creme brulee. So, and everybody makes it on that vanilla group that I'm in. So I might try creme brulee and see how I like it. It looks divine. So anyway, I just want to thank you for stopping by today. Wish you a happy St. Patrick's Day. May the luck of the Irish be with you. And thank you again for stopping by. I appreciate your support. Y'all have a great holiday. And I'll see you next time on Selena's Garden.